Hey, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a good day and good start to the weekend. Um, Everything's going good here. It's nice weather. Just dropped Reacher off at the vet, so he's gonna be there for a little while. Um, yeah, it's a nice day today. It's a little update with me. I know I haven't given an update in a while, but everything's going good. My labs keep coming back good. Feeling good. Uh, I still am feeling slowly better, recovering from the surgeries. It seems like the surgeries were such a long time ago, but it's a long healing process. I'll tell you what, it's a real long healing process, but it's slowly, everything's going good. So, yeah, I guess I'm as good as I can be right now, and yeah, so I'm just trying to get my life back, trying to put things back together. But yeah, everything's going okay. I'm gonna have some other updates on some other stuff that that's gonna be going on that I'm gonna be doing, but I'm probably gonna do that video maybe later today or tomorrow. That's gonna be a separate thing. What I wanted to talk about today is the new Thor movie, Love and Thunder. So there's going to be spoilers. If you haven't seen it and you don't want it to be spoiled, I'm about to spoil it. I'm about to spoil the whole thing. So that's your warning. Spoilers are coming. But there's more so something specific about the movie. I want to talk about the mighty Thor. But first off, with Thor, Chris Hemsworth Thor, the regular Thor, they made him a joke. I don't know why they did him the way that they did him, but he is not the same Thor that he was in the first two movies. He's like the first couple movies and the first couple Avengers movies, he was Thor. He was the God of Thunder. He was not super serious, but he wasn't funny. He wasn't a comedian. And he wasn't dumb. He was very smart. I mean, he was an intelligent person. But in this one, and they started to do it with the last one, with Ragnarok, but in this one, he's just a joke. Like, he's literally the dumbest person in the movie. Like, literally the dumbest person in the movie. Every single other character is smarter than him. And he's like, he's not serious at all in any way. He's like, it's like they took frat bro Thor and surfer bro Thor and just mixed them together, and it's just like surfer frat bro. And he's like, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like what they've done to him. And not to say Chris Hemsworth isn't doing a good job. Chris Hemsworth is a good Thor. Chris Hemsworth is Thor. It's the way that he's being written, and it's sad. I don't know why they would do that to one of their most powerful characters. But that's not even the part of the movie that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the mighty Thor, Jane Foster's Thor, in which, honestly, her story is better than the main story. Her story is kind of like a side story in the movie, but I think it should have been the main story. I think she should have been the main Thor, and Chris Hemsworth's Thor should have been the side character. They could have even told the same story, just told it from her perspective. And I think it would have been a better movie, better story. So Jane Foster's Thor, so in the beginning of the movie, they reveal that Jane Foster has cancer. She has stage 4 cancer. And so they kind of show her in chemo and stuff like that, and show her getting sick. I think I understand it's a Disney movie, it's a Marvel movie. They don't want it to get super serious, but I think they could have gone a little bit more into like how being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer is going to affect someone, like psychologically, mentally. What is how people are going to respond to that? And it almost seemed like it was just more of like an inconvenience, than like something really serious. Like they showed a point where she just wanted to get out of the chemo so she could get back to doing some research. And so she like reaches up and starts squeezing the bag to make it get. It's like I get it, but they could have treated it a little more seriously, and I think the story would have benefited from it had they done it a little more serious. But it was okay. I mean, again, like I said, it's Disney, it's Marvel. They're trying to market it for a younger and a broader audience, I guess. So they're gonna keep the seriousness down some. But so they realize she has stage 4 cancer. She's going through treatments and whatnot. She's doing her own research, and the other doctor, Dr. Selnick, is that his name? Zelnick? I forget how to say his name. He's kind of helping her. They're trying to do their own work to see if they can find another cure or something to help her. And then through talking with the other girl, they start talking about Thor and maybe God magic or something like that can help her. And then so on, and then you find out that Thor's hammer, the one that's been destroyed, that his sister destroyed, that's in pieces. One day Jane is doing her research, and it's almost as if she hears something, and it alludes to the hammer is trying to talk to her. The pieces of the hammer that are all the way in Asgard are like calling to her, or something along those lines. And so she goes to Asgard, where the pieces of the hammer are on display. And when she gets there, the hammer reforms and goes to Jane and gives her the power of Thor. What does the hammer say? Let ye who holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. So she becomes a Thor. And while she's got the hammer and she has this power, she doesn't have the cancer. She's powerful. She's Thor, the god of thunder. And so they kind of do that for a little bit. She's the mighty Thor. That's what she goes by, as the mighty Thor. And then at some point she meets up with Chris Hemsworth Thor, and they fight with Bale. By the way, Christian Bale was incredible as the villain. I mean, as incredible as he could be. Christian Bale, I think a lot of what made the movie good was him and his acting. Like, that could have gone very bad, but he is such a good actor that he made it good. Gore the God, is it God Butcher? God Killer? Gore the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale. He was great. He's a great bad guy. But anyways, they're going back and forth fighting with him. And then down the road some more, you find out that, so when Jane puts down the hammer, because she can't just stay Thor permanently, when she puts down the hammer and that power goes away, her cancer is worse than it was before she picks up the hammer. And so at some point, Thor explains to her that when she picks up the hammer is like an amplifier, like a super amplifier. And so it gives her the power, all the power of being a god, and the strength and all of that. It gives her by taking some of her, I guess, her life force and just amplifying it to 1 billion. So she's good when she has the hammer, but when she puts it down, her cancer is worse because some of her life force that she has that could be fighting the cancer is gone. So the hammer is really killing her faster. And so ultimately, they get to a point where Thor's like, look, you have to stop picking up the hammer. You have to go back to the chemo, because there's at least a chance that the chemo could still save you, that the treatment could still save you. Albeit small, it's still a chance. But if you pick up the hammer again, you're gonna die. That's gonna be it. You're not gonna have anything left if you pick that hammer up again. So he talks her out of going with him for the final confrontation with Gore the God Butcher. And so they also show that the reason the hammer was calling to her was it's kind of like not really a flashback, because it's a new scene that we'd never seen before, but they go back to a point between Thor 2 and I guess like the next Avengers, or the next appearance of Thor or whatever, when him and Jane are dating. And so I guess there's a night where Jane is asleep and Thor is talking to the hammer, and Thor tells the hammer to, no matter what, to always protect Jane, to always take care of her if she needs it. And so I guess they are trying to say that that's why the hammer was calling to Jane, was because the hammer knew that something was wrong with her, and the hammer wanted to help her because Thor told the hammer to always take care of Jane. So anyways, Thor goes off to fight Gore. Jane is in the hospital, just looking wrecked. I mean, she's in the hospital bed. She's going through the treatment and everything, while Thor leaves to go fight Gore. Thor starts getting his ass kicked, of course, because he's going to. And then it goes back to Jane in the hospital, and you see the hammer starts talking to Jane again. And it's not like a vocalized talk, like you can't hear it, but it's obvious that there's a communication going on between the two. And so I guess the hammer could tell that Thor was in trouble. But either way, whatever his reasons were, it was talking to Jane. And then it goes back to Thor fighting with Gore. And Gore, I guess he's about to stab Thor or something. And then, pow, the hammer hits Gore in the side of the head, and then it goes flying back, and you see that Jane is there, as the mighty Thor. She picked up the hammer again and came to help. And so Thor just kind of gives her a look, like, because he knows that she picked it up. He knows what the end result is going to be. And Jane, this is, I really like this. She just looks at him, and I forget if she said it at this moment or another moment later, but she says, "I chose this." And that right there, I thought was really, I like that. Because I understand where she's coming from. That there's nothing she could do about the cancer. She had no choice in that. She was gonna die. She felt that she was gonna die, but she had a choice on how. She decided that she would rather go out fighting for something, as Thor, than just in a hospital bed, frail and basically broken. That's not how she wanted to go out. She made the decision for herself. And I like that. That kind of hit a little hard, but I did like it. That they made it a point to show Jane making that choice, and that she knew what she was choosing. And then, of course, you get the fantastic, because we know that this is the end for Jane. She just wrecks Gore. She tells Thor. Thor goes to stop what Gore had put. Gore was trying to open a door using Thor's axe. And so she tells Thor, go get the axe. Go stop the axe from opening this door. I'll take care of Gore. And she just wrecks him. I mean, she wrecks Gore. And you get the iconic shot from the comic books. If you've ever seen any of the Mighty Thor comic books with Jane Foster, or even the regular Thor books, just an iconic picture in general is the one of Thor, or the Mighty Thor, holding the hammer straight up in the air with the lightning coming down into the hammer and just going through them. And it was just an incredible shot. The visual was just really nice. It was really good. And so you get that good shot of her and a great final battle for Jane. And she just wrecks Gore. And just beat his ass. And so then ultimately the fight's done. They stop Gore. And Jane puts the hammer down. They weren't able to stop Gore from opening the door. They really didn't stop anything from happening. She beat the crap out of him. But ultimately he got the door open. And then he was going to the embodiment of eternity to ask for one wish. And they thought that he was going to ask to kill all the gods. That was his ultimate mission in the movie, was to kill all the gods. But then they showed him crawling over there to eternity to make his wish. But Thor, instead of going after him to stop him, he went to Jane. Jane was laying on the ground. She had put the hammer down. She was reverted back to normal Jane, and you could tell she was about to die. And so ultimately Thor tells Gore, Gore's like, why are you not trying to stop me or whatever? And Thor was like, because I'm choosing to be with her right now. And ultimately the reason Gore wanted to kill all the gods was because Gore's daughter died and he blamed the gods for not helping and whatnot. And I guess through this, Thor convinces him to, instead of asking eternity to use his one wish to kill all the gods, he uses his one wish to bring his daughter back. And that's what Gore does. He brings his daughter back. And then you get Thor and Jane's final moment together before Jane passes on. But when she does, she turns into that, I don't want to say magic dust, but I don't know how else to describe it. When the same thing that happened to Thor's dad when he died, Thor's mom when he died, the Asgardians, when they die, they turn into like this dust that goes off into the universe. That happened to Jane when she died. And then jump forward into the post-credit scene, they show Jane again and Heimdall. I don't know if you remember Heimdall. He was the one that would open the Bifrost for Thor, and he died in Infinity Wars. She sees Heimdall, and Heimdall says, Jane Foster, welcome to Valhalla. And so, because she died as Thor, and she died fighting in battle, she got into Valhalla. So I guess that also kind of alludes that Jane is not technically gone. They showed her in physical form entering Valhalla, so they could easily set up for something else, that they find a way to go to Valhalla or whatever. But so that's where Jane is. She earned her way into Valhalla. And I think that story, I think they did a good job based on who they were marketing it towards. Like I said, I would have liked it if they took the cancer itself a little more seriously and put a little more emphasis on how a person would react to something like that. Like for me, I can tell you, I've never been a very emotional person. As far as outward expression of it, I'm generally pretty level, regardless of what's going on. Internally, I may be upset or I may be sad or whatever, but exterior wise, I'm pretty straightforward. I don't let things get to me. I try not to let things get to me. I try not to let things affect me. But I was wrecked when I got my cancer diagnosis. Like, I was a mess. I was a hot mess. And I think that I don't think that my reaction was out of the norm. I think that's hard-hitting information to be given. That's a hard-hitting diagnosis to be given. I think they could have gone a little bit harder on that, but I think the story is a good story, and I think for someone who's going through it, I felt good watching it. I don't know how other people who are going through this and they see that, how they would take it, how they would feel. But I felt good about it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing her get the hammer and making it all go away and making her powerful. And I really enjoyed seeing her make the choice. That, I think, was my favorite part, was when they showed her making her choice. Because like I don't want to die in a hospital. I don't want to die in a hospital bed, frail and broken, surrounded by people that are basically just watching me and waiting. Like, that's not how I want to go. And if I have any say in the matter, I won't. But that's why I keep fighting every day. I have my good days and I have my bad days, but when I'm having a bad day, I try to get through it and fight through it and make it a good day, or get to a good day. And I guess there was a little bit of inspiration there. Like, I took some inspiration from it. I watched the movie twice. The second time, I really only paid attention to Jane's story. I didn't really care about the other stuff going on. And I might watch it again. But it is very good. And I think it's a good story. Again, I wish they had made that the main story. It still would have been a Thor movie. She was Thor. She was Thor. They could have even told the same story. Just had it being from her perspective, and had Chris Hemsworth Thor be more of kind of the side character. And I think that would have been a great movie. I think that would have been really, really good. But, so I guess my recommendation, if you want to watch the movie and you're expecting a good Thor movie, a good Chris Hemsworth Thor movie, it's not it. It's not it. I mean, it's not. I don't like what they did to Thor. I don't like the way they have morphed the character into just this dumb surfer frat guy. It's because it doesn't stop. It's not like a one little joke and then he goes back to being serious Thor. It's like constant running. He's just dumb. Star-Lord is more intelligent than him in the movie. Star-Lord, okay? So I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I prefer the way that he was originally. But if you want to watch it to see the Mighty Thor, Jane, it's a great movie. I recommend it. I recommend watching it. And I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll like the story that they tell from her perspective. So, a good Thor movie? No. A good Mighty Thor story? Yes. I think it was a great Mighty Thor story. And I hope we see more of Jane as the Mighty Thor. I hope they do something with her again maybe something in Valhalla or something. I really enjoyed seeing her in that role. Natalie Portman did a really good job with what she was given. So yeah. I mean, I would recommend it for that aspect. If you want to see it, just to follow Jane's story, I think it's really good. I recommend it. Yeah, if you've seen it, let me know what you thought. Leave a comment on what you thought about it. If there was anything else that you took from it, or maybe something that I missed. Yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Like I said, I'm gonna put some other stuff together this weekend, because I do want to talk to you about the traveling and the camping and stuff that I've been getting ready. I'll talk to you about it in another video. I don't want to get started on it and then just go. But yeah, I want to talk about that. I'll be doing that this weekend. But yeah, let me know what you think of Thor. If you've seen it, what you think about it. And yeah, thanks for checking out the video. I hope everybody has a great weekend. And I'll catch you later. Have a good day.